Hi, this is Real Audio, and this is a little update about things to come very soon on my little tiny channel. One of them, as you can see, this is why I have been postponing my Björk review, or I would say video dedicated to Björk, and I have been promising it for ages and ages, and I have not gone through it because this is what I've been waiting for. This is Björk's Medulla album. It's on vinyl and it's sealed, so it has never been opened, and it has just arrived today in my mailbox. And that's why I was waiting with Björk review, because this is on vinyl and it's a double LPs, 45 RPM LPs, and I suspect that I actually many of her albums I do not own, I do not have, and I have just heard on MP3 version. So, and based on those MP3 versions, I highly suspect that this album might be her her best recorded album, her highest quality album, and certainly the 45 RPM LPs. I'm very curious what they did with it, how it turns out, and as you see, I have yet to open up the packaging. It's still sealed, so I just have to get my scissors and cut it up. I mean, not the album, just the shrink wrap around it, which is still there. And after that, I have already shown you guys this album, but in the past weeks, actually this has arrived in the mail about over a month ago now, but I never get to listen to it yet. So I'm really excited to hear this also. And both of these albums arrived sealed, so they have never been listened to before. And I'm going to wait a little bit about listening to them, because I will sonicate them. So I will ultrasound clean them before the first listen to remove all those little deposits that are on the record after they are being pressed, and to give the best chance for these LPs, so that when the stylus goes in the groove, that the groove is clear, and when the groove is clear, then you can play it clearly. Now, if you have dust and dirt in your grooves, then when the stylus hits the dust, then that might create a boink, an indent in your LP, and you will permanently have that pop on your record since then. But if you just take care before first listen, whether it's a brand new LP, whether it's a used LP you buy, just make it as a habit. If you have an ultrasound cleaner, clean it before you listen to it, and then that's the best way to keep it as new. And then, especially as these were sealed, so these records, if I keep as good care of them as I have been keeping with my other thousands of LPs, they will sound completely dead silent, without pops and hisses and scratches, even 20 years from now. So that's about records. And by the way, what I think I might be doing, and this is for Craig, I might start doing some maybe Hungaroton weekends or Hungaroton Mondays, or you can pick a day which day should be when those videos come out, and talk about Hungaroton records. And because this is an amazing label that I think every audiophile should know about. It's a Hungarian label, and they have amazing quality musicians recorded on them. I'm thinking mainly about classical music and folk music, and they are just fantastic. And the recording quality, they record in a natural way, and the way they sound is simply fantastic. I love Hungaroton, and maybe that's why I could do maybe Hungaroton Mondays or Hungaroton weekends, because I have quite a few Hungaroton records. And there's much more coming than records. There's also something. I'm going to make videos on DSP, because I have been mentioning DSP on the sidelines a few times, and I have received many wonderful comments and questions about DSP. And I think it's really high time to look into what is that DSP does exactly. Because when you look online, I haven't seen online a single explanation of what DSP is doing. There's not a single YouTube video. Maybe there is, I just haven't found them. There's not a single review that exactly details what it is doing. Nothing. So that's why I thought that I will talk about what is happening in your DSP device and how is it that it's able to manipulate specific frequencies. And when I will show you guys the mathematical basis of what is it happening, what are the transformations that the DSP is using, what are the benefits of that, and what is happening. So is it a high fidelity process or is it not? Because when you guys have a look at it, when you look at the very top manufacturers of loudspeakers, and you look at, let's say, the 5 most iconic or most high-end audiophile loudspeakers, out of those 5, 0 are using DSP for their crossovers. If you hit a certain performance threshold, there is no DSP beyond that. And there is a reason for that, and I will talk about that. But also there is a reason why DSP works, and I will also go into detail what are the circumstances when DSP might be a landslide success for you. And I will also show you what are the situations when DSP will be a step down if you start applying it. So basically I had Father Ted and Dugo is just doing a reality check on DSP for us, and that is something to be coming in the near future. I hope to make this video next week, or just post it next week. There's one more thing coming which I have been promising for a long time, is how I would go about creating a recording studio. So what do I think is important when you are recording music, or when you are starting to set up your recording studio, especially if you try to do that on a reasonable budget. So it will not be one of those recording studios where you have one pair of every single microphone made in the world, and you have like a $15 million budget and just basically farting my excess brain power about how the futuristic recording studio would be, because I would think that's kind of a nonsense thing. And sometimes if someone has the desire for that and the budget to do that, then really there's no limit. You can do whatever you want. But I will show you a way how to build a recording studio for yourself, where you can make recordings which will give people who listen to your music about the same amount of joy as this recording would give to people. So these are some things that are coming soon. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. Craig was asking that it would be awesome if I would do a live session. So that is when I announced that at a certain day, certain time, I will start making a live session, and then you can chat in and ask me questions, and I answer them as you put in those questions. So if there is a need or a desire, you would like to have that thing, you have questions that you would like to answer uh, in more detail, and I could talk about things, and that would be probably about an hour long session, or maybe longer, a little bit longer if I can make it. So just please comment it if you would like something like that, and then we will find the time and the date for that. So thank you guys for tuning in, and there's lots of exciting things to come, and we will have an awesome time. Until then, have a wonderful day, and I will continue listening to Björk. Bye bye.